Hi, everybody. I'm Ross the Boss, and welcome to Ross the Boss. We talk sports, we talk everything you want because I want to talk fantasy baseball with you, Cowboy. But it's not fantasy baseball today. We're going to talk about Wimbledon, we're going to talk about Stanley Cup, NBA playoffs, NFL if you want. You name it, we can talk about it. I have all my notes in my phone. I put everything in here. I'm excited. You're excited. We're excited. It's going to be a knockout show. I'm looking at I'm looking at my feed in the background. I see Michael Jordan, and I noticed that Scottie Pippen wrote a book, and he's basically doing all the rounds. He was on Dan Patrick earlier today or yesterday, and he had some amazing things to say about Michael Jordan being a selfish player, about Phil Jackson being a racist, about all this stuff. I mean, he's so jealous that Michael got all the attention last year for the Last Dance. I just feel that he has to go out there and say whatever he can to sell books. And it's not nice to call your a coach that won you championships a racist when we all know he's not a racist. He's just mad he didn't get to shoot the last shot, and Kukoc did in the championship game. I don't remember that play, but the Phil drew out the play, 1 second left, and basically Kukoc got the game winner. And Scotty's mad about it. So I wanted to start with that just because it kind of upset me. I mean, Pippen was nothing without Jordan. Jordan's Batman. Pippen is Robin. Okay, that's how I look at it. I've been saying that for years, and I just feel that that's the way it is. I mean, Michael Jordan made Scottie Pippen a great player, and when he went to Portland and played in Portland and had Steve Smith on the team and had other stars on the team, he wasn't the same player. He averaged like 14 points a game. He was never the guy that shot the ball. He was like a 3 or 4 guy. He wasn't the one guy. But that's my whole take. But you know what? Like our page, press like, ask me a few questions, follow us on social media, subscribe, press that bell, do what you got to do. I'm going to be here for 45 minutes, so well, a little less, but we'll see. Uh, but I'm going to talk about everything. Let's talk about basketball. We're on the subject. Let's talk about LA Clippers. Uh, I am excited. Wait, we got a question too. Well, I'll ask that. Let me just talk about the Clippers real quick. Clippers won last night. The game 6 will be in LA tomorrow. I'm excited about it. No Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi will be not playing. I don't think he's going to play the rest of the year. That's my thing. And he'd even travel to Phoenix. I mean, usually if a guy's hurt, they travel, especially an elimination game. He should be there. But Kawhi sits in the box in Staples Center. He's not around his team. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. I mean, I just don't understand why he's kind of isolated. It's not because of coronavirus. It's just I think he wants to be with his family, I guess. But I don't think Kawhi's coming back. But the Clippers are playing great. I mean, PG 13, he looked unbelievable. I mean, this guy that's why he's getting all the money. I mean, he's carrying that team on his back. Chris Paul had a horrible game yesterday. Eaton wasn't even around. I don't know what he was doing. I call him Eaton, but Ayton isn't even playing that well. I mean, and Jay Crowder hasn't had over 10 points in 4 games in a row. So Clippers are playing great. I'm excited about it. I think they're going to win game 6. I think we'll have game 7. And then let's go to Milwaukee. The Milwaukee series, horrible news for Atlanta. Trae Young is not playing tonight. Or if he is, he might play. They say he's questionable, but he's not going to be 100%, which is horrible news for Atlanta. You need Trae Young to score 40 points a game if they're going to win. They're not going to win him scoring 20 or 15 points. It's not going to happen. I think he is going to play. That's the rumor, but who knows how healthy he is, which is a shame because I really thought Atlanta had a chance. But now, season's probably over for Atlanta. I don't see them winning another game. Kiwanis and Middleton are just too strong. So that all being said, it should be interesting. I know the Clippers could be in the championship. We'll see what happens. But if they're not, Suns Bucks championship series could be the lowest rated NBA series ever that ever happens. No one's going to watch that unless you live in Phoenix or Milwaukee. But no one else is going to care. But ask me some questions. I'm here for you. I'm excited for basketball. We're going to watch it tonight. I got my first question. It's actually, let me see here. It's from 810 Pro Wrestling. When are you going to do the new Ross the Boss action figure? That's a great question. We're actually in talks with a few gaming companies about an action figure. I want myself to portray it a different way, but they're not excited about it. But long story short, the new action figure should be out by next year. I'm Ross the Boss. So basketball, guys, ask me some basketball questions. If you have to answer them, we talked about Pippen. We talked about the Clippers. We talked about the Bucks series. If there's anything else you want to talk about, Ben Simmons announced today that he's not playing for Australia in the Olympics. He's going to concentrate on his basketball game and just work out at the gym, which I think maybe he's better off just playing in the Olympics for us. He's from Australia. I didn't know. I forgot he's Australian. I totally forgot. He grew up in Australia. He's a real Australian. He's not one of these guys with these fake passports. He's a real Australian, Ben Simmons. He has the accent too. I totally forgot. But he is actually not playing in the Olympics. Australia wants to win the gold medal. I mean, they have a really good team and no nonsense. I mean, I think the USA, of course, is favorite, but Australia is good. He's not playing. He'd just rather take jump shots in a gym. I think he'll get a lot more accomplished if he just plays in the game and takes jump shots in the Olympics. I mean, why wait? Why even say you're not going to participate in the Olympics? I mean, Australia is a pretty good team. You could treat it like a scrimmage. You can work on your free throws. You were horrible free throws during the playoffs. That's why the Sixers got bounced in the second round. But I mean, Ben Simmons, I guess I get it. He doesn't want to be embarrassed in the Olympics and miss a bunch of free throws like he did in the playoffs. But I think he should be playing. What do you guys think? Put it in the questions. I'll be happy to answer that question. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited for the Olympics. We're going to do something special for the Olympics. There's a lot of great stuff going on with the Olympics. I'm excited for basketball. I'm excited for track and field. I love swimming. I really love watching the Olympics, and I missed it last year. So I'm happy this year. So I put all my information on my phone. On my phone, I have everything. Let's talk Stanley Cup real quick so don't forget. I predicted Las Vegas. I know they lost. Tampa Bay, I predicted last year, and they won it. It looks like Tampa's going to win again. They won yesterday 5-1 against the Habs. That's Montreal. They blew them out. They won 5-1. It was unbelievable. I don't see Tampa Bay losing. I don't see them losing a game. How about that? And do you know how much money, if you want to buy tickets for the Montreal-Tampa Bay game in Montreal on Friday night, the cheapest ticket you can find, I'm just saying the cheapest, this is the most expensive. The cheapest ticket you can find is $18,000 a piece. That's how much they're going for in Montreal because there's limited seating. There's not many people are selling tickets. So people, I mean, how quick would I sell my ticket for 18 grand? And I'll just watch it at a bar. I mean, it's unbelievable. But people in Montreal, they haven't been in the Stanley Cup final in years. It's been 90s. It's been crazy time. So, in a Canadian team hasn't won the cup in years since it's been the 90s. So that all being said, I like Tampa Bay. Tell me who you like. I don't see Tampa Bay losing a game. I really don't. They're playing great. And can you imagine? Well, it's not like new news, but Tampa Bay, the Lightning win, and then the Bucks won earlier. It's like the city of champions. That little town in Florida, Tampa Bay, they're the champions in football. They'll be the champions again in hockey. And who knows? Maybe they'll be the champions in baseball. We'll see what happens. But it's unbelievable. We got another question. I got to lift my glasses. Pro wrestling. How do you feel about boxing and MMA? I'm excited for the Fury fight. I'm excited about. That's in July. He's fighting Wilder. That should be a good fight. I like the first one. Fury's undefeated. I want somebody to knock his block off, though. I'm really sick of his ego, but I respect. He's a great boxer, and he can't hurt the guy. I mean, he's you got to win on points with Fury. And I've been watching. I don't know if because I'm watching this, but I suggest you do watch it. You can watch it on demand on Showtime. They have this show called The Kings, and the last episode ran on Sunday, and it's about boxing in the 80s. And they do a great job. It's documentary style. And they take the welterweight, middleweight division, how great it was. It was Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hitman Hearns, and Marvin Hagler. and they kind of did a whole like inside with those four guys and when they fought each other and how they kind of took over boxing and how huge boxing was back in the 80s because of Leonard and Duran and Hearns and Hagler. And it was really a great documentary. But with boxing, I love boxing. UFC, MMA, I don't follow it. I know the big names, but I've interviewed some big names on our shows here, but I don't follow it like I should. But with boxing, I would say I'm pretty, I'm saying I'm an expert in boxing, especially the old time boxers. Back in the 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s. I follow it. I follow it now. I enjoy boxing. If you want to ask me any boxing questions, I watch all the championship fights. I used to watch the Thursday night fights on ESPN. I love boxing. So that answer your question there, you got it. So hockey, we're taking Tampa Bay. They're going to win. They're not going to lose. It's going to be unbelievable. I really feel Tampa Bay's, there's no way they're going to lose the game. Let's talk about, let me just go through my notes. How about that? New York Knicks, big news out of New York. Damian Lillard could be traded to the New York Knicks. They're talking about it. If Lillard goes to the Knicks will be one of the favorites to win the East. One of the favorites. I mean, I still think the Nets, if they're healthy, are the best team. I mean, come on. Harden, Durant, Irving, you're not going to lose. There's no way. But if they get Lillard, the Knicks, with the talent they have, with Randall and everybody else, that's a team to reckon with. Who knows if it's going to happen, but I do see a lot of trades going on in the NBA. And let me give you, let's talk Major League Baseball. Because I've been working on some lists, I've been doing some studying, and I feel with All-Star break coming up, All-Star break's in 2 weeks. I mean, I don't know if you guys know that, but it's 2 weeks. And I wrote down some names that I think will be traded just because their teams aren't doing well, and these guys are making a lot of money. And they're, like, for example, Trevor Story for the shortstop for Colorado, he's on a 1-year deal. He's making $18 million, and I don't think Colorado wants to play that. So I see him being moved for sure. He's not staying in Colorado. He's like for sure leaving. Just so you know, he's not having a great year. He's 255, 9 home runs, 34 RBIs, but in the past he's been unbelievable. I feel he's going to be gone. He'll be out of Colorado. There's a lot of places he can go. We'll see what happens. It just depends who is in contention, who wants to spend the money, but we'll see. Another guy I think's leaving. He's played pitches for the Twins, Jose Barrios. He's making $6 million this year. His ERA is 3.41. His WHIP's 1.08. He's been pitching great. Nelson Cruz for the Twins is another guy. $13 million he's making this year. Every year I always say, okay, Nelson Cruz. He's 100 years old. He's not really a young guy. He's going to decline. I'm always wrong. He's 17 home runs, 299, 42 RBIs. He'll be going to some team looking for some power. Sterling Marte for the Marlins. He's going to be gone out of Florida. He's making $12.5 million. He's hitting 293 with 6 home runs and 14 stolen bases. The White Sox wanted him, and they didn't offer enough for him. But the White Sox, I think, are the number one team that's going to get Sterling. He's a great pickup. Joey Gallo with the Rangers. Adam Frazier of the Pirates, who's hitting 330, 4 home runs, some stolen bases. He'll be gone for sure. Richard Rodriguez, we talked about this before. Richard Rodriguez is the closer for the Pirates. He is, it's not really a money thing, but it's just, I think they just want to dump him because they can get some trade value for him. Kyle Gibson, the Rangers, he's making $7 million. He'll be gone. John Gray of the Rockies, he's making $6 million. He'll be gone. Tyler Rogers of the Twins, he's a good closer. He's making $6 million. Good possibility he'll be gone. Eduardo Escobar, I thought he was going to be traded to Boston. I don't know if that trade happened, but he's for sure leaving. Another guy that's going to leave for Baltimore is Trey Mancini. Trey plays for Baltimore. He's having a great year. He's 14 home runs, 52 RBIs, 258, but he'll get that up. He's 29 years old. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He'll be gone too. And then David Peralta, who's an outfielder for Arizona, he'll be gone. He's hitting 258, 4 home runs, but he's making $7 million. And then another guy that's hitting great for the Tigers is Jonathan Scoop, and we've talked about him on our fantasy baseball show. He's unbelievable. He's hit 15 home runs, 41 RBIs, hitting 271 for your Detroit Tigers. He won't be in Detroit. He'll be traded by the All-Star break. Jonathan Scoop is playing so well, and so many teams can use that bat that I see. And the Tigers would love to get some young pitchers from him. Another guy I think's going to be gone is Danny Duffy. He's making $15 million a year. His ERA is 2.44. He's 55 Ks in 48 innings. I think I think he's a huge target for sure. Those are some of the targets I think that will be traded. You'll see. If you have them in fantasy baseball, just so you know, it's a good thing when they go to a better team because they have more people that hit around them, and it helps your player a lot because they have protection. Like Sterling Marte has nobody hitting in front of him or behind him. So for Sterling Marte, if he goes to the White Sox, that'd be huge. If you're an owner of Sterling Marte, which I am. Adam Frazier, the same thing. I mean, a lot of these players that play for these teams that are not in playoff contention, and they go to a playoff contention team, their numbers go up. So any of these players that I mentioned, don't get rid of them, please. Whatever you do. So another subject in baseball I want to talk about is the whole substance on the glove and how the umpires are coming out and checking the pitchers almost every inning to making sure they don't have any illegal substances in their hat or in their glove or anywhere else. And it's like the Hector Santiago of the Seattle Mariners was the first player to actually get in trouble for this. On Sunday, they found an illegal substance. I don't know what it is. They said it was suntan lotion, but I don't believe that. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is. But he's suspended for 10 games. He's not coming back. He is not. You won't see him. He was fined also a few dollars. He's a 32-year-old pitcher. He's been in the league for a while. I just don't know how. Is it his ego? Or is he just stupid? I mean, every inning, the umpires are going to look at your mitt. So why would you risk it having something illegal in your mitt, which he did, because they took his mitt and they wrapped it up and sent it to whoever. Yes, the commissioner's office, because the guy doesn't have a mitt for a while. And they're going to see what it is. He said it was suntan screen. I mean, I think it was a night game. No, I'm just kidding. I think it was a day game. But it'd be funny if it was a night game and he had suntan screen, whatever he had in his glove. But he was the first one that got caught. And I don't know if you remember, like Max Schultzer of the Nationals, he was like in 2 innings, he was tested 3 times. He ended up just pulling his pants down. He was so frustrated. I mean, and Tony and all these, a lot of, like the Romo for Oakland did the same thing. I mean, a lot of players are getting upset about it, but I mean, they have to do this in the beginning. They got to do a scare tactic with pitchers, making sure they follow the rules. And I don't know if you guys like Trevor Bauer, but Trevor Bauer went on his Instagram and he actually had a baseball like stuck to his hand like this, like it was stuck. And he said, I did that with a rosin bag and water. And rosin bag is the bag that you see behind the pitcher's mound. It's totally legal. But I mean, you can, and so you can use sweat from your hand in the rosin bag and you can make the ball stick. So, I mean, he's like saying this is like the dumbest thing, but you know, all these pitchers, they have to follow the rules. I mean, you know, and we'll see if it makes a big difference. I mean, this year alone, 24% of the time the batters are striking out. 24%. It's unbelievable. It's like Javi Baez of the Cubs. If he keeps this rate up of his strikeouts, he's going to strike out 200 times this year. 200. That's like a record. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, you usually bat, let's say you get 600 bats. So you're saying a third of your bats, you're going to strike out. It's a crazy fact. It's unbelievable. Type me up. Press like. Press the bell. Ask me a question. I'm here. Javi Baez. What a loser. No, I'm just kidding. He's good. Okay, I got a question. Tony Todd, Fernando Fernando, he's a Clippers fan, so am I, and wants to see them win it all. But it is rooting for CP3. Thoughts? I love CP3. I've worked with him many times. One of the nicest guys I know. Great guy. I'm a Clipper fan, so I'm not rooting for CP3. Even though I went to school in Arizona and my second favorite team is the Suns, and I used to have season tickets when I was in college to the Suns back in the day. I do like the Suns, but I'm a huge Clipper fan, as everybody knows, and we are rooting for the Clippers, Clipper Nation. The Clippers last night, they were like bullies. I mean, Patrick Beverly like running over CP3. I don't know if you guys saw the game, and then he like CP3 like almost like flipped, like he did a flip, and then Patrick Beverly, I wish I can show it. Patrick Beverly was mocking him doing that. I mean, he could have hurt his shoulder or wrist, and Patrick Beverly's like mocking it. I mean, it's like, as much as I'm a Clipper fan, I mean, Patrick Beverly, have some class. My God, I mean, a player can get seriously hurt, especially CP3, who was hurt 3 weeks ago. But Clippers they bullied that team yesterday. I mean, they started a small lineup. I don't know if you saw it. They started Morris, and their other centers, Zubac, did not play. He was in a street outfit. He was, he didn't even dress up. So they had no height. And Anton didn't do anything. He was invisible. CP3 was invisible. And I told you, Jay Crowder didn't do anything either. It was like it was invisible act for Phoenix. They were totally bullied. And they should have won at home. They should have clinched it last night and didn't. And so that's a huge mental thing for the Clippers. I think the Clippers, if they win, which they have a great chance on Wednesday, if they win, say seventh game is like you can just take a coin and flip it. I mean, I don't know who's going to win. I mean, I would love to see Kawhi come back for Game 7. Wouldn't that be great? That's like writing a movie. Like your star player comes back for Game 7. Wouldn't that be unbelievable? I don't see him coming back. I mean, he's day to day, but he's not coming back, Tony. You know that. Come on. What are you talking about? There's no way he's coming back. So let's go back to my news. So we're talking about Trevor Bauer with holding the ball like this with the rosin bag and sweat, basically, or water. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think these umpires testing and looking at the players every inning is going to make a big difference? I mean, do you think they're all cheating? I mean, I think that everybody has a cell phone, including Ross the Boss. People are recording everything or seeing stuff in their phone 24 hours a day. If you do something stupid and you're at a ballpark, chances are somebody recorded you doing it. You know what I mean? I mean, look at anytime you see any of this stuff on YouTube or anything, it's all done by somebody with a phone, and people are on their phones all the time. And basically, you really think, I mean, with all the cameras and all the technology, somebody's going to get away with like having illegal substances, like in their hat or on their mitt? I mean, it's a very tough thing to do. I guess you could do it, but it's not really worth the 10-day suspension and the fine and no pay and all that stuff. I mean, just play the game, just pitch. I mean, all these guys complain about it, but I think it will go away soon. I don't think the Major League Baseball is going to keep this going up like every inning, looking at people's gloves and hats. It's too much. It's making the game longer. Remember, they put the stop clock up there. They try to make the game shorter. They're trying to limit the amount of visits the manager makes to the mound. This is like increasing the game of like an extra half hour. It's like unbelievable. So that all being said, I think we should really think again about this whole umpires testing illegal substances with pitchers. I know we all want to see players hit the ball and all these strikeouts. We don't like watching players strike out, but I just feel these pitchers are so good now that it's getting harder and harder to hit the ball. That's my opinion. It's just, look at all these they're unbelievable. I mean, my MVP right now is Ohtani for the Angels. That's my MVP in the American League. Why? I believe he's like leading the American League in home runs. his ERA when he pitches is like under 3. He's like one of the best pitchers in the American League, and he's a home. He's like leading the American League in home runs. He's unbelievable. He's like I never in my lifetime have seen a player pitch and hit like he's doing right now. I mean, I wasn't alive when Babe Ruth was alive. Well, maybe I was. No, I wasn't. But Babe Ruth was a guy that hit and pitched, and he was a great pitcher. And then all of a, then when he was traded to the Yankees, and probably before the Yankees, his manager said, "Listen, you're not going to be pitching anymore. We just want you to hit every day." And that's what he did. And he, it's probably one of the best hitters ever. He was unbelievable. And this is before steroids and before weights and before training and before like all that stuff. I mean, Babe Ruth, it was all natural. It was all cigars and hot dogs. That's what he ate and smoked. That's all he did, and drank. He loved alcohol. He was a big, loved his alcohol. But that all being said, can you imagine if he had the training skills now, like they have all that? You'd be like, it'd be unbelievable. But when you have time, go on the internet, put Babe Ruth and look at his stats. Just look at his batting average. Look at his home runs. The ballparks were a lot bigger back then. I mean, he was unbelievable. I mean, he really was. I mean, he's somebody I wish I got to see play, because I really feel he was like the best, or one of the best. Tell me who you think. Tell me who you think the greatest baseball player ever was. I mean, I say it's Pete Rose or Babe Ruth. I go back and forth all the time, but there's Mickey Mantle, there's Willie Mays, there's a lot of guys. Hank Aaron, there's a lot of guys. But tell me who you like, and I'm going to keep going on my news feed. I'm looking at the news feed. I've been watching the European Cup in soccer. I'm not really a big soccer guy, but I love the World Cup. I watch that every 4 years. I think it's great. It's the best. I love watching that. It's one of my favorite sports to watch because it's country against country. And in this European Cup's the same thing. I mean, I saw England beat Germany this morning, and I didn't see who won this. It was tied with the Ukraine and Sweden game. I had to do this, but it was tied 1-1. But I've been watching that like it's on ESPN every morning. I've been watching the soccer. I'm taking Italy. That's my team. So watch out, Italy. I picked you, so you better win. Tell me who you like in the European Cup. Tell me who you think's going to win. I find it fascinating. And there's also the Copa Cup, which is the South America Cup, and with Brazil and Argentina and Colombia and Bolivia. We got all the countries down there fighting for it too. So there's a lot of soccer going on, and then we got the Olympics starting up, and the soccer in the Olympics is always fun to watch. There's a lot of sports coming up, and I don't have enough time to watch it all. I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable. But watching soccer is great. Tell me who your team is. I don't know if this is true, but I heard the U.S. is not playing in the World Cup. I heard they're already like eliminated. It's unbelievable. We're supposed to be like the greatest country in the world when it comes to sports, but in soccer, I don't know why we're so bad in soccer, men, especially men's. I don't understand why we can't qualify for the World Cup. Every year, like Costa Rica, Honduras, Guatemala, they all make the cup, and then even Jamaica, like somehow they figure a way to get in, but the United States gets this, they can't make the cup. They can't qualify. I just don't understand. Tell me your thoughts on that. I just don't get it. No idea. Some more news. I watched Wimbledon this morning. I saw Federer won. He had a tough match. He had to play 5 sets, and finally the guy he was playing quit. He had to retire. He got hurt. And the sad news is I saw it and it put a little tear in my eye. And Ross the Boss doesn't have many tears, but Serena Williams was playing, and it was tied 3-3, and she got hurt. She hurt her knee, and she limped off. It was like from a movie, and she withdrew from Wimbledon. She's out. She's done, which is horrible because I always loved watching her play. I wanted her to win her another Grand Slam because she'll break the record, but that's not going to happen. But that all being said, she's one of the best that ever played. I mean, in women's tennis, I mean, people say it's Chris Everett or Billie Jean King or so and so or Steffi Graf. I say I really think it's Serena. I mean, that's my goat in women's tennis. Tell me who yours is. I just feel that she changed the game. She won a lot of titles, and she's been playing since she was like a kid. And she's from Compton, California. And I always love watching her play. Tell me who your favorite tennis player is. Tell me who you like. I love how Federer's back. He's playing. Nadal's playing. Djokovic. We got all the guys are back. And those three guys, Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer, those three. I mean, there's an argument that one of them, like, there's an argument that they're goats. I mean, they're like the guys that you can say when they retire that they were the greatest ever played. I mean, that all three of those guys are that good. I mean, if you look at their stats, look at their title wins, look at their winning percentages, look at everything else. I mean, there's an argument that all three of them could be like the greatest ever played tennis. It's unbelievable. And I don't know if anybody even notices that, except me because I love tennis. But tell me who like in tennis. I love watching it. I'm reading my who else we should talk about here. I feel I start thinking this team props. I've had that. I wrote San Francisco Giants, and I remember why. First place, they're in the hardest division in baseball. Everybody picked them to come in last, and whoever their pitching coach is, I don't know who it is. He should be like he could get a raise of like 1,000%. I mean, this guy turned a bunch of mediocre pitchers, Cueto and Disco, all these guys into like great pitchers. Alex Wood. I don't know what's going on in San Francisco, but they're hitting the ball. Brandon Belt looks great. Buster Posey looks great. They're all Dugars pitching, hitting great. They're killing the ball, and they're pitching great, and they're first place. And they're in the toughest division in baseball. It's unbelievable. And it's almost all-star break. I mean, I had them coming in last. And I know Giants fans, and they don't even think their team's that good. And can you imagine, I would love to see this happen, but can you imagine Oakland, San Francisco World Series? That'd be great, but who knows? I think the Dodgers and the Padres will figure a way to make the playoffs. I don't know if the Giants can sustain what they're doing in the second half. I think some of their arms will get a little tired. Unless they improve and they pick some players up, like I mentioned earlier in their show. Some pitchers, maybe some hitters. If they do that, then maybe they can make the playoffs. But Gabe Kapler, I mean, they're unbelievable. Gabe Kapler, the manager, I mean, Granada Hills product. He's manager of the year for sure. No one's going to get them the manager of the year except him. Give him the award right now. There's no way. I mean, this guy is doing unbelievable job. Congratulations. You're playing great. I did mention Trae Young. He's questionable. I just got it right now with the Bucks, bone bruise in the foot. Which is, we talked about it. It's so upsetting to me. With him, I just feel that if they had Trae Young playing right now in 100%, I feel Atlanta has a great shot at beating the Bucks. But without Trae Young, they're not going to win anything. You guys know that. There's no way. I'm just looking. I'm looking. See, I've got some more notes. Wimbledon's going on. We're all talking about Wimbledon. We're excited about that. We talked about the Olympics already. USA looks great. I'm excited. Even gymnastics, I'm excited about. The USA Olympic team looks great with Biles. She's unbelievable. The Blazers signed Billups. He was the assistant coach for the Clippers to a 5-year deal to become head coach. Chauncey Billups used to play for the Detroit Pistons. That's a great hire. Chauncey's great. I'm happy to see he got the job. 5 years is a long time. I don't know how he pulled that off. That's a long contract for a first-time head coach. But congratulations, Chauncey Billups. You're the new coach of the Portland Trailblazers, who I think has a great nucleus. I hope Lillard stays, but if he doesn't, they'll get a lot for him. Doesn't matter. But Lillard, I think, hopefully will stay. I think Chauncey can make him a unbelievable. He's great right now, but Chauncey will use him and make him a better player. We'll see what happens. Um, Tell me what you guys want to talk about. Oh, we got a question. Good. Here we go. We got a question. Question is, uh, uh, 5 starts this week out of 9. Can you help me? Yes, I can. Out to pick Tuesday. I'm trying to read it. I can't. It's so small on my screen. I can't see it. Uh, I can't. I don't know what the question is. I have no idea. I have no idea what this says. Um, Hold on. Let me see what I can do here. Try to make it bigger. James Ward, Ross have 5 starts this week out of 9. Can you help me? Ross, I have 5 starts. Well, tell me, James, tell me who you're starting and tell me how I can help you. I don't know who your players are. I can only see the bottom of my screen, but tell me who your players are and I'll be happy to ask. Let me try to go on. Let me try to go on. Let me try to go on the talk. Tell me how I can help you. Hold on here, James. I'm on my phone. I'm looking right now. A lot of stuff here. Mar, I see it. Okay, I see it. Peralty, Snell. I Snell's been pitching a lot better, so he for sure I would start. Snell's my for sure start for you. It's Freed's off it. That must be Freed's first start off the DL. I would not start him off this first start of the DL. That against, especially against the Mets, first place Mets. I would say Mar for the Reds. I love. He's been pitching great. Gets a lot of strikeouts. Um, the Padre pitcher Yo is unbelievable. You got to start that. These are all for Peralti's. You start him too. Um, but I don't know. Maybe if you only get 5 starts, I probably would bench. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Um, Pablo at Philadelphia. Yeah, but hold on. Okay, okay, good. You wrote something more clear I can read. Um, okay, I'm reading what you got here. Hold on. Okay, so I would, if I was you, exactly what you're saying. I would start. I mean, you can start more than one. You can start more than one guy. Um, but the only one I would not start is Freed. I love Max. He went to school out here. I just don't feel he's coming. He's just coming off the DL, and I just think he needs a few starts to get back in shape. And I don't think I think that I'm sure he's on a pitch count, so that's what I would do. But everybody else I kind of like um, a lot. So uh, Peralta, yeah, I mean all these guys I like. I mean they all been pitching great. Um, Even Snell. I know people have been dropping Snell like crazy this year. Snell was unbelievable in the World Series. I'm sure we all saw that. But I feel that he's coming back. He's been pitching really well lately, and a lot of people dropped him. Of course, I picked him up. But Snell is your team. You have to give it starts coming up. You just got to make sure that weather's not a problem because I heard it's supposed to be raining back east for July 4th. So you got to check the weather report, and there could be some rainouts. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with the weather, but it's a big factor right now, and especially in the summer, back in the Midwest because they get a lot of storms. So you got to just do your homework and make sure all these guys are actually pitching and they're not. It's on a rainout. Um, but again, so it's weird. You're in a league where you can only start five starts left. So you're in a weekly league that you limited how many starts you get, which is interesting. So out of that match, you have some really good starts. Max Fried's the only one I wouldn't start, but I get what your league is now because I'm in leagues where it's like unlimited. You want to start guys, limited starts for the week. There's no count, but I get what you're doing, and you do have some good starts. James. Let me know what hitters you. If you have any questions about hitters too, I mean, some guys it's on your lineup. I mean, you know what guys you start automatically. I mean, any guy that you feel has an ERA under 3, you start. I mean, you look at the ERA. If it's under 3, you start them every game. There's no question, unless they're pitching in Colorado. That's my rule. But that's what I would do if I was you, James. If you guys have any more questions, I'll have to answer them. I'm going to go back to my notes now, James. I have some more notes here. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. You know what I saw? What happened over the weekend, which is unbelievable? The Yankees got swept again by the Red Sox. The Red Sox have swept the Yankees like twice this year, I think, already, and it's unbelievable. I think the Yankees are going to be selling. They'll be a seller this year. I think Chapman's going to be gone too. I think Chapman, who's making $8 million the second half of the season, I don't see the Yankees. I know they can afford it, but I don't see him staying there. I think the Yankees are going to do some. They're going to clean house a little bit of players that are making way too much money, and they're going to want to save a little bit and think about next year, because I don't think the Yankees. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll figure it out, but they're not playing well. They got swept by the Red Sox, their nemesis, and it's unbelievable. I just can't believe that. With all the money and how great the Yankees supposed to be, and Derek Cole got killed on Sunday. I mean, he gave up like 6 runs in like 3 or 4 innings. I mean, he was awful, and he's supposed to be like a Cy Young contender for the American League, like one of the Cy Young contenders. Not anymore. I guess Rodon is my guy now. Rodon for the White Sox. That guy. Look at his stats. Tell me what you guys think about Rodon. I mean, I talked about this last week. I think his ERA is like under 2. He's like 7-8 wins. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. He's like pitching a hitter this year. I mean, he's been pitching great. I suggest you, if you can trade for him, I would do that in a second. But let me know if you have any more fantasy baseball questions. A lot of stuff has been going on. We have our baseball fantasy waiver wire show tomorrow with Casey Scheinfeld. That's flat to the bone. Casey Scheinfeld. And myself will be talking fantasy baseball with everyone, and who you should pick up and who you should drop. And that's always the must watch. We have, if you play any fantasy baseball, you should watch, because I've been like, before we go, I just want to say one thing. Kyle Schwarber, he plays for the Washington Nationals. I told people in our league to pick him up like 3 weeks ago. So in the past 12 games, this guy has like 11 home runs. He's hitting over 400. It's like 19 RBIs. He's on a pace to like break the home run record. Like, last night he had 2 home runs. Kai Schwarber. I mean, he's unbelievable. And if you listen to our show, you would have picked him up. He was available like 90% of the leagues. Now he's not available, so you can't pick him up. Sorry. But I mean, that stuff like that on our fantasy baseball show is stuff that you can actually win your league, because you can watch our show and win. And I'm excited. You know what thing I'm excited about too is football. Fantasy football starts drafts in August, but we're going to start our shows in July. I want to talk fantasy football. I'm excited. It's going to be a great season. Some great rookies. What do you do with Aaron Rodgers? I have no idea. Is he playing football next year? I have no idea. Do you draft him in your fantasy football league? I don't know. I don't know if I would draft him. I don't know if I would take him in the 12th round, just in case if he plays. I don't know what you do. I have no idea. That's a great question with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, but we'll find out soon. So I'm Ross the Boss. I love talking fantasy sports, news, whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm here. I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Oh yeah. From Kill Cliff, the #1 clean energy drink in the mind of Joe Rogan, comes the Flamin' Joe. Sugar-free, B vitamins, electrolytes, all them good drink things. An epic spicy pineapple fusion from out of this world, straight into your drink hole. Own it. Kill Cliff.